So I'm going to take you through my Camino preparation bag, my rucksack that I'm going to take on the Camino. You can see, I'll show it to you in a second. I just wanted to take some people through what am I bringing and how to pack, because this is a big topic and you have lots of videos on it. I've done about 8 walks, so I'm just going to take you through what I would use, what I use for the Camino. Now, the first thing to get you through, what shoes am I using? I'm using Salomon hiking boots. I've used these for 10 years. I have never had a blister with these boots. And the reason why I've never had a blister is these socks. These are Bridgestone socks. These Bridgestone, they're about £20, about 25 euros. They are the best investment for walking. I use these around the house. I use them all the time. I never have blisters. So I'm bringing about 3 pairs of them. And if you're doing a long walk over 25 kilos, 25 kilometers, you will want to, change your sock. So, use this, start off with this. After about 15 kilometers, change to a fresh pair. Check your feet that there's no blisters. If you have a blister, deal with it. The worst thing, people doing the Camino, they think they're Superman. I used to think I was Superman the first thing. I said, I could do 40 kilometers, I could do 40, and I can walk 40 kilometers. I can do that. I'd have no problem walking. But the thing is, you have a whole couple of days of walking. So you don't want the first day, I walked 40 kilometers. And then you're suffering with blisters and tendonitis and everything. So, it's not a race, it's a pilgrimage. So look after your feet. Bridgestone socks and Salomon boots. So those are definitely a must. And these socks are the best investment. Why am I only bringing 3? Well, you'll wear one, you have one to change, and you will wash these every evening and dry them, and you will have them for the next day. And a tip for washing and cleaning, if there's 4 or 5 people on the Camino with you, and if they have a washing machine and a dryer in the albergue, just lump all your clothes together. You pay €4 or €5 to wash and dry, and off you go. But you can't bring that much clothes. So anyway, shoes. Then to do with clothes, I bring a fleece. Even though it tends to be warm in the summer, it can get cold at night, or if you're in Santiago and it's raining, at least you have a fleece and a raincoat, a light raincoat. That's what I always bring. So fleece, light raincoat. Trousers wise, I bring 1 pair of shorts, 1 pair of these, what you would call them, they're decathlon trousers, which I walk in. So I will just walk in 1 pair, which I'll wash every evening, dry, and I'll have for the next day. Then I have a pair of long legged pants, which can be turned into shorts. I can use these in the evening while I'm waiting for the other things to be dried. And a pair of light shorts you can use for swimming. These are Under Armour shorts. So that's it, short-wise. For your documents, for money, passports, anything you cannot lose, credit cards, I have this pouch which I will carry around my waist all the time. So never leave money in your backpack. Money, documents, anything of value in your backpack. You will carry it here and you will not take this off. You will go to if you're in a public albergue, when you go to your public albergue, you will put this pouch with you. You will carry it. You'll put your phone in it. You can put your phone in it, your wallet, and everything like this. I have an air tag with this, and so if it gets mislaid, that at least I know where it is. Now, to be fair, I've never been robbed on the Camino. Nothing has happened to me, or I've lost anything. But you know, it's just to be practical. You're all the time moving. You're going from Albergue, you're stopping for a coffee, you're all the time moving. So, you know, be conscious of the stuff can get lost. And the things you don't want to get lost is your passport, your money, your credit cards, and so on. So, you know, I keep them all in this pouch. This Decathlon. I bought this in Decathlon. It's pretty good. I've used it all the time. And you keep that around your waist, and that's it. It's like your man bag for the Camino. And some people, you can get a pouch and you can put it here. I've been using this one, and I found it pretty good. So the next thing I'll bring is a sleeping bag sheet. So I'm going to bring a sleeping bag and a sleeping bag sheet. Now, if you've lots of money, you can stay in nice hotels. You can do that. There's great accommodation. Because I'm going for a month of 35 days, and I'm going with my son, you have to budget for the day. So, you know, that's why you will stay in hostels, because otherwise it becomes very expensive very quickly. So hostel wash, 12 euros, 15 euros per person, 30 euros for accommodation, 30 or 40 a day. The same for food. So it works out about what, like you want to budget for something. So I usually cook. If I can get in a hostel, I'll cook something for my son, pasta, stuff like that, because if you're going out for a meal, it's 12 euros each, you know, 24 euros, and it tends to be the same meal all the time. So I try to find places where I can cook. But anyway, so sleeping bag sheet. Why the sheet? If it gets too warm, you can just sleep in this, and then you have a sleeping bag if you need it. And I do recommend a sleeping bag, especially where we're going. Along with the sleeping bag, you will need a towel. Now, this is a towel I bought in Lidl. It's just one of those hiking towels that dries quickly. You will need this because you're going to shower every evening. The camera I'm using is a DJI Osmo 3. It's what I'm using to film this video. I will bring not hiking, but walking sandals for the evening. So you change out your boot and you get your feet to give them some rest. I bring, for my videos, the videos I'm using an iPad Pro. You don't need to bring it, but it's a small iPad Pro that I use for editing videos. Very handy, and so I'll be bringing that. A medical kit, especially with, you know, it's, you know, the basics that you need for blisters. I mean, I have blister Compeed and blister stuff and medication and stuff like this. Thankfully, I've never had to use a blister pad. Never, not once. Although I carry them all the time for my son or for somebody else. Generally, this ends up being used for other people that haven't prepared. Obviously, if you're going on the Camino, you make sure the boots you're going to walk in have been walked in for at least a month before. At least. You know, the boots that I use all the time. So they fit well with me. I have this bag that I'll put my backpack into. The backpack that I'm using, I'll just show you, is an old Birkhouse backpack. I've used this for 10 years and it's still fine, and I use this. Shirts, a hiking shirt and an evening shirt. These are just hiking shirts. I have a hat for the sun, very important. You want to keep the sun off you, and sunscreen. Put on the sunscreen in the morning before you leave. You know, make sure you're well lathered, because there's nothing worse than getting sunburn. You also have to check the weather. If it's going to be very hot, if it looks like it's going to be over 30 degrees, then, you know, you have to plan to walk earlier to avoid, you know, 30 to 35 degrees, very, very hot to be walking on. So avoid heat stroke. So that's just me with walking with my son. And a compression t-shirt for walking, and an evening t-shirt I bring as well. Underwear, compression Under Armour for walking in, so you're not chaffing. You know, it's nothing worse than everything is raw and red because you've been walking on day. And then just ordinary underwear, Under Armour, 3 pairs. You wash them every evening, and that's it. You know. What else am I bringing? So another thing that I do recommend is these waterproof bags. So you can get a kind of a waterproof bag that you put everything in. So you can have 2 or 3 waterproof bags in your rucksack. So divide, you know, put your medical stuff, your computer stuff in one bag, put your clothes in another, sleeping bag and stuff in the other. So that if it's raining, yeah, you can cover your bag. But if everything is in waterproof bags in your bag, nothing's going to get wet. I mean, there's nothing worse than having a wet sleeping bag. And these are really great. So, you know, just some recommendations. I bring one phone charger. It's the Apple charger that I have with the European plug. I bring my iPhone AirPods, and although I don't listen to music when I'm walking, I don't use the AirPods. Maybe in the evening or something like that. I do that, and that's it. That's really it. I mean, your hiking bag should never be more than 10% of your body mass, of your weight. So, you know, I would always aim to have between 7 and 8 kilos, because then you're putting a bottle of water or some food. So with water and food, when you're walking, you know, it becomes, 8 to 9 kilos. That's it. That's it. I've seen people walking the Camino with 15, 16, 17, 20 kilos. 20 kilos. With extra changes of clothes, books. Leave the books at home. Like if you're bringing an iPad, it will have all the books. You can have Kindle in here or stuff like that. You know, and you don't really need an iPad. You could, if you want to read a Kindle or something like that, or your phone, you can go techless. But those are just some of the things that I'm bringing. Less is more. You know, you clean as you go every day, and it really is an exercise in minimalism, because you just can't bring anything. You know, you really you won't be over the 10 kilos getting on a plane. Oh, and one thing I did mention, if I didn't mention, I bring this. This is an extendable bag. It just opens up into a bag, and this is what I use to put my rucksack in, so I'm checking through the airport. Now I do bring trekking poles, and since trekking poles can't go on the airplane, that's why you have to check in your bag, and you might have a pair of scissors in your first aid kit, so you have to check those in and stuff like that. Insect repellent is also a good thing to get, and any medication that you need, you know, make sure that you bring it with you, so that you know you have it there. If you're European, you'll want to bring your European medical card so that you can avail of free medical treatment while you're traveling around Spain. And if you're not European, you'll have to have your own travel insurance, so that you know, in case of emergencies and stuff like that. But anyway, that's my packing list for the Camino de Santiago, and we're leaving in 2 weeks. If you have any questions on preparing for the Camino, packing list for the Camino, just let me know, and I can share my tips. But if I was to really recommend, it's the shoes and the socks. Take care of your feet. So, shoes, socks, hat for the sun, and sunscreen. You know, protect your skin, protect your head, protect your feet, and if you do these things, then you'll be able to walk every day. If you get sunburn, you won't feel like walking. If you get blisters, you won't feel like walking. And I see so many people with blisters. So many people with blisters. Check your feet every 10 to 15 kilometers. Sit down, take off your socks, check your feet, if there's any blisters, and prevent the blister from growing. Put some tape around the blister, you know, tighten up the feet. You know, blisters occur when your feet are rubbing against the shoe, you know, and you want to keep your feet, the skin on your feet from moving, from rubbing. And that's why a good pair of socks, good pair of shoes that you're comfortable with, checking your feet, changing your socks, checking for blisters, and you'll enjoy the walk. You'll be able to walk every day, and you're not suffering from blisters. But that just my thoughts. And yeah, let me know what you think in the comments anyway. And if anybody has any other suggestions, let me know what you've done in the Camino. God bless you. Take care. Bye bye.